All right, international students, let's talk about money. If you're studying in the US, finances are going to be one of the key factors that shape your entire experience. Whether it comes to tuition fee, living expenses, food, travel, money is going to play a role in what you can and cannot do. So in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at ways that you can make money while you're on campus. Yes, it can be done. How much money can you make? What are the limits that you need to know about? And lastly, how you can maximize your earnings by making sure that you file your taxes the right way using Sprintax, which is the only online solution that allows non-residents to e-file federal returns and prepare state returns. Now, while I understand some students may think that, well, instead of earning money, I could just get a scholarship before coming to a US college, and that's great. But sometimes you don't get the full scholarship or you don't get the sufficient amount. So it's always great to have like a backup option, especially one that you're allowed to do. So students that come to the US on a student visa, which is typically the F1 visa to study in a US-based university, can work part-time on campus. Remember these terms, part-time on campus. Now you're allowed to do campus-based jobs such as working in the rec center or in the library or in the dining hall or for sport-based activities as long as it does come under the university's name. Things that you probably shouldn't be doing and aren't even allowed to include working on these weird restaurants or taking like cash payments. Don't get into all of that stuff. Now, you're allowed to work up to 20 hours per week on campus. Now, this 20 hours per week on campus isn't, I know, as attractive or sufficient to take care of all of your tuition fee, but it's extra money. You can take care of your living expenses, maybe contribute to your parents for paying a little bit of your rent, take care of your food, or just money to, enjoy with your friends. It could be whatever you need it to be. The point is, this also helps you gain that exposure to the work-life culture here in the US. As an international student, while you're coming to the US to study, you're also coming here to experience the culture and how things are done. And this is a great way to get that experience as well. Now, let me share a personal example. When I was in Cornell, I had two on-campus jobs. One is I worked in the cafeteria where I had to work at different stations. So depending on what day of the week it was, I was sometimes at the pasta making bar, or I was rolling sushis, or I was just kind of serving salads or whatever. And this was pretty cool. I earned $14 an hour and it was really tiring. Like I had to, after all my classes were over, I had to go for my shift and stand for maybe 3 to 4 hours doing all of this stuff and helping out through wherever I was needed. But I did earn this good amount of cash. The second job that I had, which I personally enjoyed a little bit more, is a soccer sideline referee for intramural games. So these teams would come up and we would just make them play. Honestly, I didn't really know too much about the offside rule, so I'm not gonna lie, I may have raised the flag once or twice. Maybe it wasn't the right call at the time, but it was a great learning experience. And also, the way I saw it, I earned $16 an hour and I got some really good amount of cardio in. As you can imagine, sideline referees, you have to go across the field as the ball's moving, so it's not like a standing job. These two jobs are something that I worked. I was able to make that extra cash and I used it towards my food expenses. So simple stuff, just like buying groceries and eating out. That way I didn't have to ask my parents because I had that money with me. Now, between both of these jobs, I earned somewhere around maybe $1,000 to $1,200 before taxes. And since I was working on-campus jobs, everything that I would get deposited in my account was after tax deduction. So I'd get anywhere between $800 to $1,000 after my taxes were deducted. And every 6 months or every year, I would get these tax forms that I had to file. And at the time, I was kind of lost because it was probably my first time going through this entire process. So I had someone from my college explain what I actually needed to do with these tax forms. I'm not gonna lie, that particular year where all of this was for the first time, I ended up missing the first deadline of April 15th, which is when you have to file your taxes, and took an extension for the October 15th, and really had to sit down with someone to explain to me what all of this is and what I need to do to make sure that I don't get penalized and I'm doing things the right way. It wasn't that, I didn't want to do it. It's just I didn't know and I just wanted to learn. Now, this is exactly where a platform like Sprintax comes in handy. it is the perfect tool for e-filing federal tax, especially if you are a non-resident. It guarantees 100% US tax compliance, which means no overpaying, no headache, and just mess-free altogether. Plus, it's the official non-resident partner of TurboTax. Now, for those of you that don't know, TurboTax is one of the most popular tax filing platforms, but there are some restrictions using TurboTax if you are a non-resident. Now, for me, tax filing was really intimidating. And at the time, if I had something like Sprintax, it would have made life so much simpler. You can step-by-step file your taxes and upload your forms, and everything is done through e-filing. So you don't have to print your forms out or mail in anything physically. You file everything properly, they take care of everything for you, and if there's anything that's needed, they'll work with you in order to get that done. Now, here is how it works. You create an account and answer a few tax-related initial questions. Next, Sprintax will determine your residency for you. If you have something like a W-2 or something that the university has given you, you have the option to upload that into Sprintax, so they have that information, and that's pretty much it. Sprintax prepares your entire tax return for you. After that, you e-file your federal tax directly to the IRS, and for the state tax, you print it out and mail it in. The best part is Sprintax offers live chat options, webinars, YouTube videos, so if you get stuck or have a question, you can always ask them, and they are very responsive in making sure that they're taking care of you and getting all of your questions answered, so you don't make any mistakes. And here's a bonus tip. So after you file in your taxes to the IRS, sometimes they reach out to you for additional documentation or questions. Now, if you're using Sprintax, the Sprintax experts will take care of that on your behalf. So if there are any questions or additional documentation that's needed, they will communicate with the IRS on your behalf and then work with you to make sure that you are compliant. So it's like that additional safety net. You don't have to worry about being non-compliant in any of this. If you need to provide additional documentation, you have Sprintax to rely on to make sure that all of the clarifications are done and you are putting in your forms in the right order. So whether you're filing taxes for the first time or regularly doing it or just need help with additional documentation, Sprintax is the perfect e-tax filing system for federal taxes and state filing as well. I'm going to leave a link to Sprintax in the description below. Definitely check it out to make sure that you're compliant with all of your tax filings.